Hi everyone. So since this is our 10th year, we have a special event planned. But before we start that, we wanted to introduce the board. So first, I'm going to introduce Shreyas and he'll introduce the rest of us. So as the president of NCYCAC for the last 3 years, Shreyas has helped implement the Key Contributors Program, which allows for interested high schoolers to get involved with planning and running NCYCAC.
So yeah, I hope you're excited for our 10th year event. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have some fun stuff. We have a game, and there's going to be a prize. So that's why you should stay. And we also have some more serious stuff, but it's also going to be really cool. So before we start the whole event, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about all the youth that make this event happen. Obviously, it's not just one person here just sitting around making all this stuff happen. But truly, this event is entirely run by youth. It's entirely run by a team of board members and key contributors, all of which are standing here. And I'd like to talk a little bit about each of their work this year. This is in no particular order, and please understand that this is not all they have done. They've done much more than this, but for this small presentation, you have to condense it down to a couple of sentences. So in no particular order, so Ganesh is our vice president of NCYCAC. And for the last 3 years, he's helped run the programming team, which handled creating the schedule, calling out-of-town artists, and other participant-oriented tasks. Kapil, as a member of NCYCAC, he ran the logistics team, which handled things like catering, the hall, volunteers, and all the nitty-gritty details that make this event happen. Then Sriram Vekar, as a member of NCYCAC, he's worked with the logistics team in setting up performances and with the website team in order to improve the technological quality of our platform. Next is Maya Krishnamurthy. As a member of NCYCAC, she's worked with the fundraising team and the public relations team. This past year, she worked as a liaison to past charities in order to help plan this event, actually. So give her a hand. Next is Mike Payne. As a member of NCYCAC, Mike Payne has worked with the programming team in order to help plan the schedule and communicate with the artists and performers at the festival. Next is Manasi. She's worked with the website team, and this year she worked on making the archive pages for past NCYCAC events, so you can actually see the schedule and the artists from past events as well. Next is Divya. As a member of NCYCAC, Divya is the head of the fundraising team and is the primary liaison with our charity this year, Kiran. She's also a part of the logistics team and handles backstage setup and coordinates MC volunteers. Next is Kavin Shankar. As a member of NCYCAC, Kavin helped order our awesome samosas that I'm sure all of you enjoy. And he's also primarily responsible for making the fun part of this event, which is soon to come after. So get excited for that. Next is Shriyan. As a member of NCYCAC, Shriyan worked to bring in the mayor, Mayor College today. And he's communicating with other town councils. He's raised money and he's also the manager of our Facebook page now. Next is Smithy. As a member of NCYCAC, Smithy actually did a really innovative Veena workshop that helped fundraise for Kiran. And she also made the awesome t-shirt design that we have. Next is Shriya. Shriya's worked with the publicity team, fundraise, and assisted in communicating with past charities. Next is Vinitra. Vinitra, as a member of NCYCAC, she has helped design our awesome flyer that you can see on Facebook. And she kind of oversaw all of the publicity aspects of this year's festival. So give her a hand. Next is Siddharth. As a board member, Siddharth has worked with the logistics team. And I don't know how many people here came for a Chipotle fundraiser, but he was responsible for organizing that. So give him a big hand. Next is Akhil. As an NCYCAC member, Akhil has worked with the fundraising team, and he actually raised over $200 this year for Kiran. Last but not least is Vishnu. Vishnu is our head of technology, and as a board member, he helps manage our NCYCAC website, and he's a member of the program team. So give him a round. Okay, it's his birthday on Wednesday. Happy birthday in advance. Okay, with that done, we now move to the fun part of this program. So everybody get out your phones. We're going to play Kahoot. And there's a prize, and it's going to be entirely worth it. So get out your phones. I hope you all know what Kahoot is, because it's going to be great.
So to get on Kahoot, you just have to go to Kahoot, that is KAHOOT.IT. So once again, that is KAHOOT.IT in your web browser, and you put in that code, and you put a fun nickname, but one that we can recognize you by, because you will get a prize if you win. So once again, that's KAHOOT.IT. Anybody else? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you want. This includes adults. You can win this. Adults. It's a pretty cool prize. Okay, let's start it. Yeah, you can start it.
Are you registered?
No.
You don't have to register.
No, like he couldn't find the nickname or something.
What does NCYCAC stand for? So what do we do? The faster you get it, the more points you get. So. Oh wait. The answers are there.
Okay, got it.
I just entered.
You got 5 seconds. Okay, if you got it wrong, the answer's on the banner, so.
It's still in circles. I can't tell. It's still like this. It's still doing.
Great job, quick crowd. I don't know who that is, but if you're a quick crowd.
I'm trying to get fun.
NCYCAC hype video. I hope you guys watched it.
You might have to read the question. Read the question.
Oh, I got it.
Which year is the first NCYCAC hype video?
I didn't get that.
2014, and so that was our 5th annual festival. So as our special 5th annual festival, we made a hype video. I don't know if it was really special, but it was.
Okay, you can go to the next one.
Shining and follow.
So how much has NCYCAC fundraised in its existence?
I do not know.
So how many people have participated in NCYCAC? This is these are challenging questions. They're big stakes. We have very nice prizes.
Do you guys know the answer or did you make it up?
You know the answer. This is in its existence.
Over 200 people.
Yes, I'm fifth. What are you? Third.
How much money do we have in our bank account? NCYCAC is supported. So, where in the first 4 years was NCYCAC held?
Most of you guys got that.
Don't kick anything, okay?
I'm not. He's like involved.
How can you get involved with NCYCAC? You can volunteer or you can be a keeper.
4,200. Oh my God! I'm not even close.
When was the first time RTP was performed? Now this is for some people who have been here a long time.
Oh, I know this.
RTP is not
I'm pretty sure. Actually, it might be wrong.
2013. It's the last period in Hungary. This is quite great.
Okay, now we get to the real toughies.
Yeah.
Most of you, I don't even remember this one. I have to answer it.
Did Madhu Mandlamani, which Pokemon was he in the NCYCAC 2016 hype video? Our Pokemon Go
What do you know? Do
episode.
you know that?
Which Pokemon was he?
Yeah, I said girl. I'll play the fifth one. Yes!
It wasn't Girdle, it's Squirtle, because he's gun age. It's Girdle. Get it?
I'm in 19th place.
Who was the infamous Arjun Ragavan? Which Pokemon was he in the same video?
What is it? What is it? Ragathor!
It's pretty easy. Only one of them is good.
Where?
Count your answers. Be quiet.
It is Stegosaur. Kundacore.
So now, this is for our OG rapper, Gautam Nagaraj. What was his name? Was he Alex?
Yes, I know.
Please refrain from saying the answers out loud. That sort of defeats the purpose of competition.
I think that.
G-Man is here.
Aquatic Raven.
Now this is a
Last
challenging one.
question. This is the last question.
Sudarshan Mohan sang Baba Black Sheep in one of our hype videos. What ragam was Baba
Oh,
Black
this one.
Sheep in?
I think it's no.
You have to be paying very close attention. Oh wow, a lot of people knew that was story. Wow, some people really watch hype videos.
I'm in 21st place.
Aquatic Raven.
Aquatic Raven.
Aquatic Raven.
Come get your
Come
prize.
get your prize.
Well, there's only one. Okay, so the prize. This prize only. There's only one of these in the whole world. There's these glasses that say NCYCAC. If you're wondering if these glasses make your vision better, they actually make it almost impossible to see. But they're still the only ones in the world. So.
Hey, we need a... 3:30. You have to come here for the live stream.
Picture of the winner. Okay, everybody clap for G-Day glasses. Also, everybody get ready to do this concert tomorrow. He's over here now, but it's going to be a great performance tomorrow, so everybody come. Okay, thank you all for playing our game. I hope you had fun. We're going to move on to some more informative things that are kind of celebrating the last 10 years.
So the last 10 years, NCYCAC has grown a lot. So we moved from a modest one-day event to a jam-packed two-day event. We went from a little hall to a super nice theater here. And we brought in over 200 participants and over $130,000. And then, even more than all that, we used to be run by a small board of maybe 5 to 8 members. And now we have actually 16 members that help put this event together. And I just did the calculations yesterday. We're very close to a 15% female in leadership.
I was in 20.
So that's awesome.
I got 20.
So for this 10th year celebration, we wanted to invite representatives from some past charities that we've supported and kind of get their feedback on what NCYCAC has done for them. So first we have Ms. Sharon Hirsch from Prevent Child Abuse of North Carolina, whom we supported just a couple of years ago.
Hi, as you said, my name is Sharon Hirsch. I'm the CEO at Prevent Child Abuse North Carolina. And this group supported us 2 years ago and raised nearly $20,000 to support our teachers and families. Our agency is based here in Wayne County, but we work statewide. We are a chapter of Prevent Child Abuse America, and our work focuses on building safe, stable, nurturing relationships and environments so all of our children can thrive. We work in 4 key ways across the state. We work in doing public policy advocacy, and advocacy both at the state and local level. We work to support professionals across the state and help to develop their skill set and understanding about what they can be doing on the ground locally to prevent child abuse and neglect. We work on social norms change to try to change the conversation in the state of North Carolina about what it means to actually support and strengthen families. We're not an agency that focuses on serving children directly or families directly. We really focus on strengthening professionals. And then the other big thing that we do is that we have a team of employees that support evidence-based parenting programs across North Carolina. And they provide not only training, but technical assistance and coaching on a monthly basis to make sure that they implement their programs with model fidelity. In particular, what I wanted you all to know is that since we were involved with your organization 2 years ago, we have really been able to increase our profile. Whenever we have an organization that can give us extra funding that is unrestricted, it gives us a lot more flexibility. And one of the things that we were able to do as a result of that is that we have been screening a documentary film called Resilience. It's Resilience, the Biology of Stress and the Science of Hope. And I hope some of you have actually seen it now because we've been screening it all over the state, including for more than 10,000 people in the state of North Carolina just in the past 2 years. As a result of that work, we're raising awareness about what happens in childhood with adverse childhood experiences and how it impacts our health and our well-being for a lifetime. It impacts our ability to make a living. It impacts whether or not we develop diseases like heart disease and lung cancer and develop depression. And as a result of that, and I really believe that gifts like yours that give us the unrestricted support and allow us to have some flexibility attracted Blue Cross North Carolina, our organization. They gave us $1 million last year. And what we're doing now is we are raising awareness about the importance of connections. We know that relationships are the biggest builders of babies' brains, and they're also the greatest healer of trauma. So you will start to see across North Carolina beginning in October a lot about the importance of building connections. You'll see billboards, you'll see videos, you'll see social media. If you go to a place at the table here in Raleigh right now, there are table tents that encourage you to have conversations and to make connections with the folks that are in your community. So we're grateful to all of you for what you've done and your support for us. We're grateful that we're connected to you because connections matter in all sorts of ways. And we really appreciate not only what you did 2 years ago, but many of you have continued to be donors for our organization, and we're truly grateful for all the support that you've given us. Thank you so much.
Big thank you to Ms. for making it out here on a holiday weekend, and I hope, like what she said, kind of resonated with everyone, that while we might not be fundraising a huge amount, it can make a big difference. Next, we have Mr. Guru and Mr. Suresh from Aim for Seva, whom we supported in 2012.
Thank you very much for giving this opportunity to talk about Aim for Seva. More importantly, I think the synergy that I see in what NCYCAC does and what we do at Aim for Seva. For those who don't know what Aim for Seva is, it's All India Movement for Seva. Seva is service, right? So this was founded by Puja Swamiji Dayananda Saraswati way back in 2000, and since then we have impacted the lives of about 20 million people in India. Okay, what we do is we build chatralayas, or free student homes, take care of the complete needs of the children from 5 years to 18 years, bring them, house them in the chatralayas, take care of their needs, take them to school, bring them back from school, give them after-school education. The whole idea is to give education to them in an environment that's conducive for education. More importantly, they do not get education because of poverty, and they also are in far from places where it's very difficult for them to reach schools. So we build these chatralayas closer to government or charity run schools, and then we help them get an education. The whole idea is to kind of create a sense of validation for these children that they are important. And once they have the education, today they might be consuming, but once they have education, they're going to be contributors back to the society. So this has helped impact numerous children. And the interesting part of, and the parallel that I think of what NCYCAC does is that this is from the children and youth of North Carolina to the children and youth of Aim for Seva. I think that's a huge thing for having the sense of service, a sense of community, and giving something back to the community. Thank you for watching us. What you have provided us is kind of a launching pad for numerous lives, right, out there. So just to give a simple context of what we have been able to accomplish is that the school dropout rates have reduced to less than 90%, meaning 90% of the students stay back in school. It used to be just 40 to 60% that used to stay back in school. 80% of our students have cleared class 12 examinations. 91% of the students cleared class 10 examinations. And 1,600 students went on to pursue higher education in college. In fact, last year, one of them made it to IIT. So, if you do education, anybody can become, an IIT grad, if you will, right? So, 80% of the students have gone on to pursue higher education and gotten into employment in global companies like Wipro, TCS, so on and so forth. And we serve about 5 million meals a year. It just costs us $450 to take care of one child for the whole year. And the other parallel that I want to talk about is what NCYCAC does is kind of promoting a sense of service through art. We do the same thing, and that's our, so the principles and the values that we share are very common. Speaking about that, we actually have a show coming up on September 8th at the Fletcher Auditorium, Raleigh Memorial Auditorium, where Sharmila Biswas is choreographing a dance theater called Antar Yatra, The Journey Within. This is about the Indian women dancers' life and pursuit of dance and how they accomplish this. So it's a beautiful 11-person dance theater that's going to be there on Sunday, September 8th. At the Fletcher Auditorium. Admission is free. This is a donor appreciation event. Okay, please reserve your passes. It's go to aimforsevausa.org, aimforsevausa.org/Raleigh chapter, and look for getting a pass. Okay, so admission is free. Get your children. It's a show that can be enjoyed by the family, right? So once again, promoting the cause through art, which is really what you guys do. Thank you very much for sharing that principle with me.
Thank you so much for this great participation. Next, we have a short statement from Mr. Dan Daniel of the Tammy Wood Center. He wasn't able to make it here in person because of the holiday weekend, but Maya's going to tell you about the program we helped them build.
So he actually sent us a statement instead of being here, which is understandable because it is a holiday weekend. He says that the proceeds from NCYCAC's event in 2016 was very impactful for the Tammy Lynn Center. The funds were used to kickstart the Building Blocks program, which serves children 24 to 36 months of age. These children may or may not have a specific diagnosis, but they are missing important developmental milestones. Many are isolated due to behavioral or economic challenges, but the Building Blocks program brings groups of 5 or 6 of these children together and introduces play therapy to help build those missing skills. Within a year, about 65% of those children would be able to get back on track and attend a typical pre-K school, and the other children would most likely remain with the Tammy Lynn Center and enter their pre-K program for continued developmental support. He says that NCYCAC's funding came at a critical time for this program and led to additional funding from other sources from that year onwards. Okay, so the representative from Triangle Down Syndrome Network, who we fundraised for last year, wasn't able to make it either. But a little bit after our festival last year, she emailed us and she told us that the funds we raised allowed them to have their very first I Can Bike camp for individuals with intellectual disabilities. And it's basically a camp that helps students or kids with autism and other intellectual disabilities learn how to ride a two-wheeled bike on their own. And they had a program in July where they had volunteers come out and help these kids learn how to ride bikes.
So I hope that these short speeches have given you a big perspective on what our contributions can help do. I mean, it's all these small contributions can make a huge difference for these charities and a huge difference for the results they bring. I want to say a big thank you to the charity representatives who were able to come on this holiday weekend. Please give them a big round of applause. To conclude this event, we're going to have a couple of perspectives from past board members who were able to make it today. First is Ram Bardamani, who's here today.
Thank you, Hello. Okay. First off, thank you everyone for coming today, and I hope you enjoyed the concert so far. And I'm sure there will be a lot more really wonderful concerts coming later today and tomorrow as well. So outside of that, like the one word that I could think of when it came to NCYCAC was impact. The type of impact it has on the community, not just here, but like even in India, or like just the type of impact it has on our youth and on the type of charities that we donate to year is just enormous. And that has to be a huge round of applause for all the people that are behind it. And it's just brilliant that like when Sudarshan and Arjun and like others started this 10 years ago, like the way that they brought this up to here, like I'm sure that even they wouldn't have expected the amount of results that came out of this, and that's something that just shows like how much like, this community has embraced music and the need to help people, and that's something that I've really cherished and I've enjoyed throughout the 10 years. And sorry, one second. Yeah, basically, the type of impact it has had just speaks volumes. And that's because like people from out of state come here just to perform, to have the ability, and it's not even that. Like, I remember as a performer, I would spend the last month going to class every single day. I'm sure Ramya like would definitely concur with that, as I would be there in class like either every day or every other day. And that's and even coming out of these 2-day festival, like I would be more motivated seeing all the people around me like singing really well, and I would want to be as good as them as well. And it's this type of impact that really helps like nourish like our community and make them better with both music and even with charities. Like it started off with the first year, they didn't even expect to get 10,000, but like the amount of like donations and just fundraising and everything just has impacted so much that now like it's gotten all the way to where we're aiming for 20,000 for this Kira. And if I were to say like just one thing as like a advice like to the future board members, it's just go with whatever you're doing. Like it's really impactful, and you're not going like at the end of the day, like it's the amount of impact that you get out of this is just a lot. Like there are going to be negatives and positives coming out of any type of event. Like people will say stuff about like something that you can improve, something like that's really good. And I say like just take that with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, like to put some type of 2-day event like this on a Labor Day weekend and get this many people to come on a dated just every year is just like very impactful. And I would just like to congratulate Shreyas and all the other past presidents for being able to put on such a wonderful event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you for coming again. Okay, the last thing, Sudarshan Mohan, our co-founder and president for the first 5 years, has sent me a short statement. He's not able to make it today. He's trying to become a doctor, and that's a lot of work. So he says, NCYCAC is the epitome of music doing good in the world. But in my opinion, that's not what makes our festival unique. When we started this event, not many believed that youth could make such an impact. But 10 years has proven otherwise. The power of NCYCAC lies in the festival's ability to give youth a platform for teamwork, leadership, and the opportunity to bring a vision into reality. Skills that are essential for all of us as we transition into adulthood. Congratulations to the youth of North Carolina for being steadfast in bringing my baby to life year after year. I don't know if he's watching on the live stream, but thank you, Sudarshan, for your message. We did plan a video montage about the last 10 years, but seeing as we're kind of running late, we're going to push that to after the main concert today, so please stay for that. With no further ado, we're going to proceed with the scheduled programming now. Thank you so much for helping us with our 10th year event and for supporting us over the last 10 years. It really means a lot to us. This doesn't happen without everybody's support. I hope it was fun for you. All right. Thank you.